saying something? You can't tell me nothing.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like...
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Buzz.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're going to have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Numb.
You're letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were all
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Going in
high and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening, I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course the rest of the world will want us to fail or it will be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and Peter.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions. And we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Hi there. Robin Short, National Nightly News. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on the current government.
I'm not really very interested in politics, really. As Mother always said, leave politics to the politicians, Malcolm.
Over to you, fellas. Global mega corporation Remington Smith today announced that trials have successfully completed on their groundbreaking male contraceptive product, Responsibility.
The drug has been passed by the government for general release, but the small print warns that, in rare cases, side effects can include blurred vision, enlarged genitalia, and increased risk of stroke. No double entendre intended.
But what do you, the public, think of Sophia Remington's latest venture? Patrick?
Would you take the male contraceptive pill? Would you take the male contraceptive pill?
Her baby, her problem. Her body, her
How progressive
baby,
of you?
her problem. What'd you say?
Nothing. How progressive of you? Huh? Nothing.
A momentary lapse of reason. Commuters across the capital found themselves somewhat bemused by the latest stunt by a controversial protest group.
In a baffling start to the day, commuters found performers outside every major station, all dressed and posed identically. Whether we're supposed to be amused or intimidated is anybody's guess, Jeremy. But most commuters didn't even stop to notice.
Well, as long as it's not some grand contemporary dance, it's probably harmless.
But how do we all feel about Disrupt and their eclectic tactics? Robin found out.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Well, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the oiks for our freedom. And what can possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Feast or famine? Resourceful doctors David Wong and Ingrid Swartzborg and Morgansford today announced their first successful harvest in Dante's Taint. Although they can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists chose to try and survive in the cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they're like strong enough.
But with Advance planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
What are your thoughts on the costs of the rescue? What are your thoughts
Oh my
on the
God,
costs of the
Patrick Bannon,
rescue?
wash your mouth out with foam. You can't put a value on human life. You have to spend whatever it takes, because one day you might be trapped in an underwater cave system and you would want exactly the same.
I don't think so, actually, because for legal reasons, we're actually not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline. Not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks, and, rightfully, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody
Team
not.
membership cards?
That's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your berry out.
Crikey!
They should call them what they are.
Crikey!
They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris? Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it,
happy,
Iris?
Algernon! I'm really not happy, Algernon! Crikey! Crikey!
And finally tonight, back of the net, popular sports personality Johnny Hounsleaves and his fiancée Tiffany Lamour was spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
We can only assume that Tiffany's latest show, My Teenage Secretions, has sold better than expected, as by the looks of things, the whole affair's about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
Oh my God, fantastic! Oh my God, fantastic!
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Night News. National Night News. Thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For Advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lambertshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
No, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard of Labour champions, cut inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who thinks he has a big career in movie flying, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at beer and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, then. We have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive. We don't use things like socially divisive.
Minister?
It's just Björk.
Minister? Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise! The hippies didn't show up for the prize.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like voting year, but it's actually the festival of Euroland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So like we all have to work our grandparents clean out while the vote was happening, and that's like a really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You had this expression, sissy man. He's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah.
Oh, stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
He always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
You're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. We'll shut the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. You can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Finland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. And like my friend Helga, she got arrested for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her heel thing. I mean, English jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. Do you know that cracker too? What became of her?
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching Jam, yeah, let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first.
You're like man trying to empty ashes of their mistresses into oncoming vein. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Finland, we don't really go into all that restrictive monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Beard?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated devices, concepts like money. In Finland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like a really hard to sanction.
Thank you, Minister Votovich. Thank you,
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. And really, he just standing in field
holding his tiny penis. Yes, thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid, everybody. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan vote for me.
CEO
She's out your league,
and I haven't
mate.
had children. Not yet. But it doesn't take a parent to tell you that what a child needs is to be wanted. Long-term plans get fired live on the news at 6 a.m. This sort of conversation.
Someone warned him it's going a little too well.